So to understand where we get our constitutional tradition, there are a variety of things we have to look at. We have to look at the lessons of the past the founders learned. We have to look at their understanding of English common law. But there's some immediate things in their world that are also really important to understand. One is their experience during the American Revolution, fighting this war. Second is how to deal with government. They have this fairly weak government, the Articles of Confederation, because they're so worried about a strong government that they're fighting against, the British Empire, the strongest, most powerful nation in the world. And then there's the geopolitical realities where they've got hostile Indian tribes on their borders. They've got a Spanish presence in the Americas. And of course, they've still got English presence out in the old, what they've called the Old Northwest, what we would now call Ohio. So they've got all these things on their mind, and they've had this immediate experience with the Articles of Confederation, and there are concerns. There's been great inflation. There's the fact that you don't have a national court system in order to adjudicate claims. You've got a lot of Europeans who've lent us money, particularly British merchants, and they want to be paid, and they want to know that when they take their case to court that they're going to get a fair trial. So you've got all of these problems that the founders are aware of. And then, of course, you have Shays' Rebellion, this agrarian insurrection in Western Massachusetts that really rattles the founders, particularly George Washington. At one point, Washington says that he's afraid, and I'm paraphrasing, that we've had too good an opinion of human nature in crafting our government. Maybe we need to have a more sober reassessment. And I think one can understand one of the differences that we see if you look at the traditions of constitutionalism in the first state constitutions and the Articles of Confederation versus the federal constitution. The former, for instance, in the Articles and the Bills of Rights of these state constitutions, they almost all have a provision that talks about the need for virtue, frugality, and moderation. And they put that in a Bill of Rights as if it's not just a kind of general statement of values, that if it's something that's a fundamental principle. And we don't usually think of Bills of Rights of telling us things we have to do to preserve our liberty. We usually think of them as saying things government can't do to infringe our liberty. But here they put this injunction in there that in order to preserve liberty, citizens have these obligations. And I think one overarching theme is they realize, well, if you actually structure government where you basically ask people, would you mind paying taxes? Most people are not going to pay their taxes. And so that sense that we actually have to have a government with some compulsive authority, that's a kind of wake-up moment for the founders, and that's why we get the kind of constitutional tradition we live under today.